The safe was German, custom, biometric, and algorithmic, with a manual override so complex the manufacturer kept only 2 copies of the schematic, one in Berlin, one in a vault in Geneva. Evelyn Carter stood before it, expression unreadable. She did not tremble, did not speak, just stillness, heavier than rage. Behind her, Preston Hargrave III laughed, the kind of laugh designed to fill rooms and diminish people. Well, his voice carried across the marble foyer of his Hamptons estate, where 6 other staffing candidates stood in a nervous line. We're waiting. Evelyn's fingers hovered an inch from the keypad. No one breathed. 12 hours earlier the email had arrived at 6 a.m. Subject, elite household staff position. Immediate interview. Evelyn had read it twice in her Crown Heights apartment. Her first coffee steaming beside a laptop held together with electrical tape. The job posting promised $70,000 a year. Live-in. Benefits. A estate manager position for an exclusive client requiring the utmost discretion. She'd applied on a whim. Or maybe exhaustion. 48 years old, 2 decades in hospitality management, and the best offer she'd gotten in 6 months was part-time hotel housekeeping. The response came within an hour. Interview today. For PM. Hampton address below. Bring references and be prepared for practical assessment. No company name. No details. She'd gone anyway. The train out of Penn Station was half empty. Evelyn watched Long Island flatten in green through the window. Her navy dress, the same one she'd worn to every interview this year. Pressed and perfect. Her mother's voice, decades old, steady. You show them you belong. Whether they see it or not. The estate was gated. Wrought iron and hedges that cost more to maintain than most people's mortgages. A man in a black suit met her at the entrance. No introduction, just a curt nod, and led her through gardens to a house that looked like something from a European tourism ad. Limestone, columns, windows that reflected clouds like still water. Inside, the foyer was all white marble and cold light. 7 people waited. All women, all black or brown. Evelyn noted immediately. All dressed similarly, modest, professional, slightly worn at the edges. No one spoke. A door opened. Preston Hargrave entered as if the room had been waiting for him. 60 maybe. Silver hair swept back, linen suit tailored to within a millimeter, loafers that probably cost what Evelyn paid in rent. He smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Ladies, thank you for coming. He strolled down the line, hands clasped behind his back. I'm looking for someone exceptional. Someone who can manage a household of this caliber. He paused in front of a younger woman, looked her up and down. You've worked in hospitality? Yes, sir. 10 years at hotels. He waved dismissively. This isn't a hotel. He moved on, stopped at Evelyn. She met his gaze, said nothing. And you? 20 years. Estate management, private service, event coordination. References? In my file. He stepped back, addressing the group. Here's the issue. I've hired 12 household managers in 3 years. All of them failed. Incompetence, mostly. Theft twice. His smile sharpened. So I've devised a test. He gestured toward the far wall. A safe. Massive. Embedded in the wall like a bank vault's smaller, meaner cousin. This safe contains items of significant value. My previous manager had access. She left suddenly, sticky fingers, you understand, and changed the code out of spite before security could stop her. Preston's tone was light, amused. I've had experts try to open it. Cost me $40,000. Still locked. Evelyn studied it. Recognized the make. Bauerdorf. Berlin manufactured. 7-figure price tag. So here's your interview. Preston continued. Open it. Prove you're smarter than the so-called professionals I've already paid. Do that, and you're hired. $70,000, plus room and board. Silence. One woman raised her hand tentatively. Sir, we don't have safe-cracking experience. Then I suppose you're not exceptional. Another woman, older, spoke carefully. With respect, this seems like a waste of time. Preston's smile vanished. The door's behind you. She left. 2 others followed. 4 remained, including Evelyn. Preston turned to her. You're still here. I'm listening. Smart. Or desperate. He walked to the safe, wrapped it with his knuckles. German engineering. Biometric scanner, 16-digit code. Manual failsafe that requires solving a physical puzzle even if you bypass the electronics. Impossible, really. but I'm curious to see you try. He stepped back. Well, Evelyn approached slowly. The room felt smaller suddenly. Colder. She examined the safe. The keypad. The subtle seam where the biometric panel sat flush with the steel. Preston checked his watch. I have dinner at 7. If you're going to fail, let's make it quick. Evelyn didn't respond. She placed her hand flat against the steel, felt the coolness, the weight of the mechanism behind it, and then she pressed a single button on the keypad. The screen lit up. Enter code. Preston laughed. Yes, that's generally how it. She entered 16 digits without hesitation. A pause. A beep. The biometric panel glowed green. Preston stopped talking. Evelyn placed her thumb on the scanner. Another beep. The locks disengaged. Heavy. Mechanical. Final. The door swung open. Silence. Not the absence of sound. The presence of shock. Preston stared. How did you? Evelyn stepped back, hands folded. You said prove I'm exceptional. That's not possible. The code was changed by your previous manager. Yes. Evelyn's voice was calm. Steady. Angela Reeves. She worked for you for 8 months before you accused her of theft. She didn't steal anything. She quit because you refused to pay her for overtime. And before she left, she reset your safe to factory default. Evelyn made it to the train station before her hands started shaking. Not fear. Not anger. Release. She sat on a bench in the late afternoon sun, trains humming past, and let herself breathe. Her phone buzzed. Angela, did you do it? Evelyn smiled. I did. And he looked like someone had stolen his oxygen. Angela's laugh was bright and sharp. God, I wish I'd seen it. What did he say? Not much. Mostly sputtered. You told him about the lawsuit? I did. A pause. Then, softer. Thank you, Ev. I know this cost you the job. I didn't want his job. Still. Evelyn watched a mother and daughter board a train across the platform, the girl clutching a stuffed rabbit, the mother's hand steady on her shoulder. You deserved better, Evelyn said. We all do. Yeah, we do. They talked for another 10 minutes, about nothing, everything. And when they hung up, Evelyn felt lighter. She checked her email. 3 new messages. The first was a rejection from a hotel management position she'd interviewed for 2 weeks ago. We've decided to move forward with other candidates. The second was a scam about extending her car warranty. The third had no subject line. Sender. Or .castellanos@castellanosgroup.com. Evelyn opened it. Miss Carter, your name was given to me by Angela Reeves, who speaks extraordinarily highly of your work. I'm looking for an estate director for my properties in New York and Los Angeles. If you're interested, I'd like to speak with you this week. Please call at your earliest convenience. Regards, Rosa Castellanos. Evelyn stared at the screen. Rosa Castellanos. The name was familiar. She searched it. Real estate developer. Latina. Self-made. Portfolio worth $500 million. Specializing in affordable housing projects and mixed-use developments. Forbes had profiled her 2 years ago. The developer who builds for people, not profit margins. Evelyn read the article twice. Then she called the number. A woman answered on the second ring. Warm voice. Slight accent. This is Rosa. Ms. Castellanos, this is Evelyn Carter. I just received your email. Evelyn, thank you for calling. Angela told me what happened today. With Hargrave. Evelyn hesitated. She told you. She did. She also told me you walked away from a job offer to stand up for her. That tells me more than any resume could. It wasn't really an offer. It was a setup. I know. Angela explained. Rose's tone shifted, more serious. I've heard about Hargrave. He's pulled that stunt before. Calls it stress testing candidates. Really, it's just cruelty dressed as standards. It is. Which is why I'm calling. I need someone who doesn't tolerate that kind of behavior. Someone with integrity. Angela says that's you. Evelyn closed her eyes. What's the position? Estate director. You'd oversee my New York penthouse and my Los Angeles property. Coordinate staff, manage schedules, handle logistics for events and travel. I'm almost never home, which means I need someone I trust completely. Salary, $120,000. Full benefits. Housing stipend if you prefer to live off-site, though there's a guest suite you're welcome to use. Evelyn's breath caught. Ms. Carter, that's very generous. It's fair. I don't believe in undervaluing good work. Rosa paused. Can you come in tomorrow? I'm in the city for 2 days. I'd like to meet you in person. Yes, absolutely. Perfect. I'll have my assistant send details. And Evelyn, yes. Thank you. For what you did today. People like Hargrave get away with too much because people stay silent. You didn't. Evelyn's throat tightened. I just did what was right. Exactly. The meeting was in a Tribeca loft. 11th floor. Windows overlooking the Hudson. Rosa Castellanos was 50, slim, sharply dressed in a way that spoke of competence rather than excess. She shook Evelyn's hand firmly, gestured to a seat, and poured 2 glasses of sparkling water without asking if Evelyn wanted any. Tell me about the Greaves estate, Rosa said. For the next hour, they talked. Not an interview. Conversation. Rosa asked about logistics, problem solving, how Evelyn handled conflicts among staff. She asked about Evelyn's background, where she'd grown up, what had drawn her to hospitality work. Evelyn answered honestly, and when Rosa asked, gently, why she'd left her last position, Evelyn didn't sugarcoat it. The family downsized. Let half the staff go. I was one of them. Their loss. Maybe. Rosa leaned back. I've read your references. I've spoken with Angela and 2 of your former colleagues. Everyone says the same thing. You're exceptional at what you do. You treat people with respect, and you don't cut corners. I try. That's all I need. Rosa slid a folder across the table. This is the offer. Look it over. If you have questions, ask. If you want to negotiate, we'll negotiate. But I'm hoping you'll say yes. Evelyn opened the folder. The terms were everything Rosa had described. Salary, benefits, a clause about professional development funding, another about annual performance bonuses. At the bottom, a handwritten note. I believe in compensating people fairly for extraordinary work. I hope you'll join my team. R.C. Evelyn looked up. Rosa smiled. What do you think? I think. Evelyn's voice wavered. Steadied. I think yes. Yeah. Yes. Rosa extended her hand. Welcome aboard. They shook. And for the first time in months, Evelyn felt something unfamiliar. Hope. That night, Evelyn called her daughter. Mom? Everything okay? Everything's good, baby. I just wanted to tell you. I got a job. That's amazing. Where? Evelyn told her. Explained the role, the salary, the woman who'd hired her. Her daughter was silent for a moment. Then, Mom, you know what this means, right? What? You don't have to worry anymore. You can breathe. Evelyn's eyes stung. I know. I'm proud of you. I love you. Love you too. After they hung up, Evelyn sat by her window, looking out at Crown Heights, the streetlights, the bodega on the corner, the neighborhood she'd called home for 15 years. She thought about Preston Hargrave, about the safe, about Angela, and she thought about Rosa Castellanos, who'd hired her not despite what she'd done, but because of it. The world was full of people like Hargrave, but it was also full of people like Rosa, and Evelyn had just chosen which world she wanted to live in. 3 months later, Evelyn stood in Rosa's New York penthouse, coordinating a fundraiser for a nonprofit building housing for formerly incarcerated women. 70 guests. Catered dinner. Silent auction. Everything ran perfectly. Rosa found her near the kitchen at the end of the night, after the last guest had left and the catering staff was packing up. Evelyn. A moment. They stepped onto the terrace. The city spread out below, lights and motion and life. That was flawless, Rosa said. Thank you. I mean it. You made it look effortless. Evelyn smiled. It wasn't. But that's the job. Rosa leaned against the railing. I got a call yesterday. From Preston Hargrave's attorney. Evelyn's stomach tightened. About the lawsuit. Yes. They're trying to settle. Offering Angela a payout if she signs an NDA. Is she going to take it? I told her that's her choice. But I also told her I'd cover her legal fees if she wants to fight. Evelyn looked at her. You'd do that? Of course. Men like Hargrave count on people not being able to afford justice. I can afford it. So can Angela, now. What did she say? Rosa smiled. She said no to the settlement. She wants it on record. Evelyn felt something loosen in her chest. Good. They stood in silence for a moment. Then Rosa said, I have a question. Okay. Why did you really go to that interview? You must have known it was a setup. Evelyn considered. I knew it might be, but I needed to see for myself. And I needed him to see me. See you how? As someone who wouldn't disappear quietly. Someone who'd stand up. Not just for me, for everyone he'd done it to. Rosa nodded slowly. That took courage. It took being tired. There's a difference. Maybe. But tired people usually just leave. You stayed long enough to make a point. Evelyn looked out at the skyline. My mother used to say, don't let them erase you. I think about that a lot. People like Hargrave, they try to make you small, desperate, grateful for scraps. And if you're not careful, you start believing them. But you didn't. No, I didn't. Rosa was quiet for a beat. Then, I'm expanding, opening a property management division. I need someone to run it. Oversee estates for my clients. People who want ethical, professional service without exploitation. Evelyn turned. You're offering me a promotion? I'm offering you a partnership. 20% equity. You'd build the team, set the standards, handle operations. Salary would increase to $200,000 base, plus profit share. Evelyn stared. I know it's a lot to consider, Rosa continued. But I've watched you these past 3 months. You're not just good at this, you understand what it means to do it with dignity. That's rare. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it. Evelyn's mind raced. A partnership. Equity. The chance to build something that treated workers the way she'd always wanted to be treated. I don't need to think about it, she said quietly. Yes. Rosa grinned. Yeah. Yes. They shook hands. Then Rosa pulled her into a quick hug. Welcome to the next chapter. 6 months later, Evelyn sat in her new office, a clean, bright space in Rosa's Tribeca building, and reviewed applications for the property management division's first 5 hires. All women. 3 Black, 1 Latina, 1 South Asian. All experienced. All overlooked by other firms. She scheduled interviews for the following week. Her phone buzzed. A text from Angela. Guess what? What? Settlement came through. Hargrave paid. Plus a public apology. Evelyn smiled. You did it. We did it. Evelyn set the phone down and looked at the framed photo on her desk, her daughter's graduation, both of them smiling, arms around each other. She thought about that day in the Hamptons. The safe. The silence when it opened. She thought about Preston Hargrave's face. And she realized she didn't feel anger anymore. Just clarity. She'd walked into that house invisible, another desperate applicant, another body to humiliate. She'd walked out a witness. And now she was building something better. A company where people didn't have to prove their worth by solving impossible tests. Where dignity wasn't a luxury. Where fairness was the baseline, not the exception. Her computer chimed. An email from Rosa. First client signed. Billionaire downtown. Wants ethical estate management. Told him you're the best. Congrats, partner. Evelyn read it twice. Then she opened a new document and started drafting the company's mission statement. We believe every worker deserves respect. Every job deserves fair compensation. And every person deserves to be seen. She typed for an hour. When she finished, she leaned back and looked out the window. The city moved below. Endless. Indifferent. But she wasn't indifferent. She'd spent 20 years being underestimated. Underpaid. Erased. Not anymore. Now she was the one hiring. The one setting standards. The one making sure no one else had to stand in a marble foyer and solve puzzles just to be considered human. Her phone buzzed again. Her daughter. Dinner this weekend? Absolutely. My treat. You don't have to, I want to. Okay. Love you, Mom. Love you too, baby. Evelyn set the phone down. Outside, the sun was setting. Gold light on glass towers. She thought about her mother. About the advice she'd carried for decades. Don't let them erase you. She hadn't. And now she was making sure no one else would be erased either. Evelyn Carter, estate director, partner, builder of something better, closed her laptop, gathered her things, and headed home. Unbothered. Unmoved. Exactly as she'd always been. But now, finally seen.